Hello, I'm Terry Friedman. I'd like to talk to you about the anatomy of a typical blog post. And for my example, I'm taking a blog post I wrote a few days ago called Seven Ways to Get Ideas for Blog Posts. So the first thing to note is the title. It's a title which indicates that I'm solving a problem or attempting to solve a problem for someone. If you have writer's block and you're not sure what to write on your blog, then this blog post promises to suggest 7 ways to get ideas for doing that. In other words, to get the creative juices flowing. The second thing to note about it is that it quite clearly is a list of something, and people tend to be attracted to blog posts with a title which suggests a list. I suspect it's because they know exactly what they're getting. You know, here you're going to get 7 ways, 7 suggestions about how to get ideas for your blog posts. And there are variations on this theme. So for example, you might have a blog post which says 5 reasons your boss won't promote you, or 6 ways to improve your website. Okay, people tend to like those kind of list type things. Second thing to note is that this is known as the heading level 1. And the reason I mention that is because Google tends to like blog posts with headings, and later on I'll talk about subheadings. Okay, but for now, just to know that this is heading 1. The next thing to look at is the fact that I've got an illustration. You do get blogs whose blog posts don't have any illustrations at all, but people tend to like illustrations. They break up the text a bit, and the old thing that a picture paints 1,000 words and that sort of thing. It can really enhance the look of your blog post, and also it can reinforce what you're trying to say. So in this particular photo, it's one I took myself. You can see there's a blank page, there's a notebook with a pen, and nothing has been written. So that reinforces what the article is about. Now, I mentioned that I took this photo myself. I quite like doing that where I can, because I know I'm going to be absolutely okay in terms of copyright infringement and so on. Basically, I'm not going to infringe anyone's copyright. I'm certainly not going to sue myself for breach of copyright if I don't like the way I've used this. Another thing to note is that I've got it on the right-hand side of the article, and there are 2 reasons for this. I originally put it at the top of the article, but then I discovered it took up the whole of the screen on my laptop, because this photo is such a high resolution. So I moved it to the side for that reason. But another reason is that research has shown that people tend to, when they look at a blog post, their eyes go to the right-hand side first of all. So if there's a photo, that can be quite useful. Another piece of research showed that people always read the caption. So it's always useful to put a caption on your photos. And you'll notice I put my name in there as well, and it's also embedded in the name of the file name of the photo itself, just in case someone decides to use the photo without my permission. I will at least get to know about that through something called Google Alerts. Now, going back to the headings, you'll see here that I've got various headings like weekly themes, annual themes. It's a really good idea to break up your text in blog articles, blog posts with headings, because it makes it easier for people to read. And also Google likes it for that reason. Also, if people are doing a search on the web, they can pick up your subheadings. Okay, so for example, this one, updating blog posts, that might show up in a web search on that subject, and same with creative writing prompts. Another thing to note is that I've put plenty of links here because Google likes links. I've got two kinds of links. Number one, I've got links to other places on my own blog or website. And that is because I want people to stay. I want people to have a good rummage around. I don't want them just to read this and go. So I'll try and keep them here. One way of trying to keep them, of hoping to keep them here, is give them other blog posts to look at on this website, okay? So these are links to place it to other blog posts on this website. But obviously it's not good to be completely insular. I've also got links to external websites, which I think look good and over which I have no control. On that note, it's worth saying that when you set up a blog, it's a good idea to have a terms and conditions document which says you're not responsible for anything which a third-party website owner does, or the content there. It's all offered in good faith. I mentioned a few minutes ago that I like to use my own articles, my own photos, in order to be sure of the copyright issue. There are places on the web where you can actually find completely free to use images. And as you can see in this article, I've actually got a link to an article about that. You can't assume that the pictures you see in Google Images are okay to use. Before you use anything from Google Images, you really do need to check on the copyright statement for it and the licensing information. Now, if we scroll down, you'll see at the end of this, I've got a call to action. It's usually quite a good idea to put in what is known as a call to action, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's basically you're saying to yourself, okay, I've written this blog post, someone's read it, what would I now like them to do about it? Or what would I like them to do now? And what I've chosen here is that what I would like them to do is to say, "Cool, I really like that article by Terry. I think I'll sign up to his newsletter." But another thing I could have put there is, if you can think of ideas for ways of getting ideas for blog posts that I haven't listed in this article, why don't you leave a note in the comments, which would be difficult because I've disabled the comments. Or I could say, or send me, if you can think of anything, send me an email and I'll include your suggestions in an updated blog post. Okay, and there's another call to action here, in effect, which is I'm inviting people to share this blog post on social media. I don't want to do this now because when I tried it, I couldn't get back in the same recording, which was a bit annoying. But if I were to click on that Twitter symbol, say, I would click on it, and what would happen is it would post the title of the article in Twitter, a little bit of the text, and the illustration I've used as well. Excuse me. So that's to encourage other people to share it, of course. Okay. Now, down here, you'll see I've got these bits here. It's a very good idea in your blog posts to use what are called categories and tags. Now, these are the categories, and these are like broad sections. Imagine this is a filing cabinet, and it's one that you can file things. It's the same thing in different places in this filing cabinet. There's a section called Handy Hints, and there's a section called How To, and these are very broad categories. Okay, so this blog post is telling people how to get ideas. But if you think about it, that is a very general category, how to. And I'll tell you why I've done that in a minute. But let me just click on this so you can see how to use it. or how people would use it. That's the blog post I've just referred to. And as you can see, there are lots of other blog posts here which tell people how to do something. Like this one is about renaming several files at the same time. There's one down here which is about how I write books, look, how to use Zoom. So you can see, I'll just go back here. These are all to do with how to do something, but they're very, very different from each other. How to use Zoom is a completely different idea, different article or subject, I should say, from how to get ideas for blog posts. However, they do have in common that they're both about how to do something. So having these categories can be quite useful. The tags allow you to drill down or allow people to drill down a bit more. So if someone is thinking, I really need an article about ideas or about writer's block, then rather than just a general how-to section, they can actually use the tags. So if I click on writer's block, there are several articles just to do with that, but in different contexts. So you can actually think of the tags as a sort of index, really. Same kind of thing as an index, and the categories as a table of contents. So if you think of a book, the beginning of the book has a table of contents, lists the chapters, and they're very broad. But if you want to drill down and find a particular reference, then you have to go to the index at the back. I think that's probably about it for now, because I don't want to make this video too long. So I look forward to seeing you in a different context or on another video. Thank you. Bye.